I'm joined here by Senator Evan Bayh, the Democrat of Indiana. As you said, a member of the Banking Committee. And first of all, thanks for the time. Appreciate it.
Good to be with you.
We spoke with one of your colleagues on the Republican side of the aisle, Senator Gregg, earlier. He says this bill is moving in the wrong direction, and in a bid to hammer Wall Street, Democrats run the risk of hurting the economy. Tell me your impressions of this bill right now.
Well, Judd Gregg is a friend of mine and a very thoughtful person. I think there are some things that have gotten better with the bill and some things that remain to be improved, Peter. I mean, for example, I'm sure Judd would agree with me that the attempt to audit Fed monetary policy would have really politicized the Fed. That got beaten back. The amendment that would have really broken up the larger banks in our country, that would have put us at a competitive disadvantage in the global economy, that got beaten back. I think the requirement that's still in the bill that would require the banks to completely divest themselves of all derivatives, that I think ultimately will be changed and improved. So, you know, those things are getting better. At the same time, I have some concerns about some of the restrictions on proprietary trading and some of the other things in the bill that, you know, it's not exactly as I would write it, but, you know, you'd never find perfection in Washington, D.C., Lord knows.
Well, let me ask you about the derivatives part of this, because it's on the floor right now. Senator Lincoln, Senator Chambliss debating some of these issues right now. On the swaps desk issue, are Democrats prepared to step up and offer an amendment to try and remove that from the legislation? Because so far they haven't.
Well, you know, Senator Lincoln's got a primary next Tuesday, and so I think some of these things will probably have to wait until after that's been resolved, out of courtesy to her. But I think that, yes, there will be people who say, look, that just is a bridge too far. Transparency, yes. Making sure that there is some capital involved so that these trades are more stable and secure, yes. But a complete divestiture, that really would run the risk of actually making it more opaque rather than transparent and driving the business offshore, so we'd lose jobs and tax revenue. And with the economy as weak as it is right now, we don't need that.
Can I put you on the spot? Is Evan Bayh prepared to offer that amendment? Because in this anti-Wall Street environment, any lawmaker who tries to look like they're helping out Wall Street runs a political risk right now. You're not running for re-election.
Well, as you know, whether it's me or someone else, I think an amendment like that will be offered, Peter. And the reason I'm confident is the administration has some of these same concerns. Even Paul Volcker has some of these same concerns. So, you know, there's some concerns about that provision across the aisle. So whether it's me or someone else, I think it'll be offered.
Let me ask you the Volcker rule. There's some out there, they look at the performance of the Wall Street banks. 4 big banks reported perfect first quarters. Their trading businesses didn't lose money on a single day in the first quarter. Some are saying that's exactly why we need to put the Volcker rule in place. What do you make of that argument?
Too much success is a good thing? Is that what they're arguing? Well, look, Paul makes some good points about that. My concern is that we really haven't studied that issue very much. He came and testified one time before the Banking Committee. There really was no in-depth analysis of it. That's why I favored the original language, which would have said, look, let's have a study to see what the competitive results are. Let's see how exactly this is going to work, and then go forward and empower the SEC to promulgate rules after we learn the facts. Instead, they're taking a ready, fire, aim approach to the thing. So that's why I have some qualms with some aspects of that.
At the end of the day, do you think this is a piece of legislation?
Besides, I thought the problem with proprietary trading was not that the banks were going to do too well, but they were afraid that it would actually create systemic risk because they do so poorly.
Let me ask you just finally, just as you look at this bill right now, as it's currently constructed and assuming some of the changes you hope might be made to it, is this something that's going to be able to prevent another financial crisis?
Well, by definition, most of these crises are not predicted, or the markets would have reacted ahead of time. So it's hard to legislate against the unknown. But I do think that we will correct some of the imperfections in the past, some of the causes of the past crises. Yeah, I think it'll make it harder. It's a step in the right direction. But, you know, the law of unintended consequences, Peter, as you know, is the only law you can count on with certainty in Washington. That's why we need to take our time to maximize the chances of us getting this right.
All right, Senator Bayh, as always, appreciate the time. Thanks very much.